It may not feel like it to you, but it's been a while, and we're back.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Exercise would an ape make a human down? It talks. Learning is of the divine bound. It is our only reason for survival. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace.
The only good human is a dead human!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. Across from me, I've got Rich and Sean. It feels like I haven't seen y'all in about 2.5 months.
I think it's been a minute.
It has been a minute, yes. A hot minute.
Yeah.
So, when Escape came out, you saw that we put out that, look, there were a lot of delays and whatnot, and we decided to start releasing episodes at the end of July. Well, this is actually the end of July right now when we're recording this, and this is the first time the three of us have been together to do this in probably
a couple months,
at least 2 months, I would think, right? We might have had one here and there, but
it's like your Saturdays and Mondays went away because
I have a kid.
Yeah, had archery, and
I had a couple of things. Was it Free Comic Book Day? Was one of them?
It might have been, and then I'm moving houses, and
Sean, congratulations!
Thank
Sean
you.
got a brand new house.
Like it's palatial, like it just doesn't end. It's a TARDIS. You look at the
Wait till we're
outside,
done
you
with
see
it.
nothing, and like keeps going.
That's
and
what
going
JJ
and going
said to me.
and
She's
going.
like, enjoy the TARDIS. And
I asked
for
her
a second, I was like, what? And I went, oh, I get it.
It just kept. It was not ending.
but she won't let me paint the outside blue.
Well, she doesn't know.
I suggested
what
a
we'll do in
police
the middle of the
door
night.
Yes.
for the main door, and she goes, "No."
I love it. But it's been a long time since we've been here. We're ready to jump back in.
Yes.
So here we are, minute 41. Sean, tell us what's going on with minute 41.
All right, we're going to start minute 41 with the news reporter saying that Zero will accompany Dr. Hassline to the Museum of Natural History, and ends with a shot of the Bay Area Women's Club sign.
All right, let's take a listen to minute 41 of Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Later, she'll accompany Dr. Hassline to the Museum of Natural History. Meanwhile, Cornelius will attend a prize fight. That's his first one. Later, he'll visit Disneyland to dedicate a new boat for the Jungle Cruise. Now for a look at the weather. Sunny California will not be exactly that tomorrow. Clouds will cover the coastal area with light showers predicted. The downtown...
Tired.
A little.
How is that?
Soothing. Very wet.
All right, as of minute 41, we have a planet's worth of humans plus 2 living apes and 1 dead ape. Do you notice the custom slippers that Cornelius has that contour to his chimpanzee feet?
You know,
Didn't we talk about it briefly in the last minute because we got to see his feet?
Yeah,
But
we got a
now
little tease of it.
We're
Yeah,
really
it's right there,
front-facing
yeah.
those feet. Like, here's some feet.
They are hands.
it's definitely, you can tell the costume designer said, okay, simians, they got to have that little thummy toe sticking out.
Sticks all the way over here.
Yeah. It's a definite thing, but it is a lot
The
of fun.
costume designer was saying, I made those damn shoes for the first 2 movies and nobody ever saw them. You put those right in front of the camera and make sure people see that they got hands for feet.
That's right.
And everybody's going, okay, Sean, we'll get it done, okay? Just calm down.
Thank you.
I'm ready to buy a pair. It's kind of like those glasses in Spider-Man.
The Far From Home, the Tony Stark
Yeah, I
glasses,
need
the,
those glasses.
the
Yeah, I
Edith
need some of these
glasses.
slippers. I need some Cornelius slippers
Oh, God.
like this.
And if Abby's listening to this, she's going to tell you right now, Tom Holland is her man right now. So it's in between. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
But
well, Cornelius is my man for this minute.
Cornelius, you know what? He, in these coming minutes, even that, he's kind of...
He's a little more
Suave, a
Yes.
little more relaxed, yeah.
and he's also a little more evolved than the people that are toting him around.
Yeah. I think that you definitely, even in all 5 minutes between the two of them, you get the idea that they're somehow a little bit above
what they're being shown, because they're showing them such stereotypical male and female things to do.
So we're coming off the party, right? It was really interesting the fact that they shifted to the party on TV, and this is a little bit the last minute, shifted from the party on TV to the newscaster. And remember how he kind of criticized the camera work for walking into the apartment and then shooting all that stuff? What if it were a TV camera? What if we're just supposed to pretend that entire kind of crappy, I can see the cameraman walk, I can see the shadows, I can see all that. They put it on TV, so maybe I can let that go now that I realize it was kind of like a recap reel.
The cinema verite.
Were it not for things that are coming in about 2 minutes, I would agree with you. And I definitely, from now on when I watch it, I can go, hey, there it is, until what happens.
It's a TV camera. We'll just pretend it's a news camera that he came in.
I'm fine with that.
So we come back to the newscaster on the TV, and they really just don't have great newscaster etiquette, setup, whatever. I mean, he's got one arm under the table. I don't know what he's doing with that arm.
You would think it would be easier to cast a local person who can read the news that is a news person to do this than an actor who can't do it, because a news person, they're trained to read a prompter.
Right.
So you could just run a prompter for them and have them read it.
Well, they did cast the guy who interviewed Hassline about the infinite whatever that was. But this guy's got like a piece of paper, and he's not even using a teleprompter. He's reading from the piece of paper with one arm up and one arm down. And I just watched it, and I was like, this is just kind of, it's so small. It's so small, but it's so just kind of not professional at all.
I thought that, if you, and I'm going to jump into another podcast, but if you really took Willy Wonka in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whatever the first one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
This is a jump, yeah. Where are we going with this one?
No, it's that you go watch the newscasters on both of these things are very blasé, kind of, hello, this is the news, and I'm doing this, and I'm not really engaged.
Like start smoking a cigarette, and someone's going to walk in with a glass of wine. Like, it was very casual.
Ooh, now we're having wine. I like that. But more than anything, the casual thing that caught me is that how kickback Cornelius is. Have we seen him sitting and watching TV too much to this point? I mean, we've had a little bit when he was in the cage.
They were sitting on the couch or whatever.
Would he not just be flabbergasted still by TV? I mean, I know that whenever I see one that's like a massive resolution where it almost looks like you're in that moment, I'm still jaw-dropping. Whoa.
Yeah. Well,
but he's sort of just taking it.
He's hungover.
All right.
And I will say this, the party just ended. If you look around, you do see glassware around, which was nice for them to stage that and not have it suddenly clean. This is probably, this moment and later in this minute are probably the most relaxed I've ever seen these two particular chimps, because they're always so high strung.
Agreed.
I've never seen them just calm, and we get to see them in this moment just calm. It was kind of nice.
And but you definitely get to also see Roddy working the makeup with the twitching of the nose while he's watching that. And I thought that's just a prime example of those moments when he just sits there and it's not reading at all, and so he twitches around.
He was definitely working the mask. He's well lit. He's got a very, very, very heavy bathrobe on. That is one
terry cloth robe or whatever.
Well, I don't know, it's terry cloth. I can go out in the cold in that. This terry cloth Technicolor Cornelius.
Cornelius in the amazing Technicolor
whatever that
bathrobe. Yeah, it's very thick and very heavy for a bathrobe.
So he's sitting around, and basically
he does have a lot of hair to cover, I'm assuming.
True.
You don't want something very sheer with that.
It does keep us from seeing him in one of those
I know I get worried when people can see my nipples.
Yes.
Well, it keeps him from being in one of those ape full body fur costumes we saw beneath, so we don't have to see that again.
Yeah.
But we get the announcer who is basically all but telling us what's going to happen. He's
Mr.
really
expository.
Yeah, it's really nothing more than his opportunity to tell us what's going to happen in the minutes that we're about to see.
You want to talk about what the newscaster says?
Why tell then show?
So the newscaster's kind of going on. Tomorrow, Zero is to speak at the Bay Area Women's Club, and will later accompany Dr. Hassline to the Museum of Natural History. And I was like, what? Didn't we kind of declare him sinister?
Yeah, he's
earlier on.
We think he's the bad guy.
And he's going to go hang out with Zira at the Museum of Natural History, while Cornelius would attend a prize fight.
Yeah.
His first.
Which
That they
Before
know
visiting
of.
Disneyland to dedicate a new boat for the Jungle Cruise.
So two things there struck me as odd. Prize fight. You don't ever hear anyone call it that anymore. Now it's just the fight, and so I heard prize fight and I thought, oh, that's really weird that they still equated it to the prize you won.
Well, they're fighting
should
for
you
a purse.
fight. Yeah. But then also, immediately when I heard Disneyland,
Yeah.
I don't know that you would see 20th Century Fox make a
Promoting
movie where
somebody
they
else?
yeah, because that is a direct well, not anymore. Now Disney owns 20th Century Fox. Ooh, didn't even think about that when I was writing the note. But it's kind of odd that they would have at that time put Disneyland instead of just saying Jungle
At the
Land,
logo.
Right.
making up some fictitious
The
part.
dedication of the Jungle Cruise is what's important to be said, which
Yes.
is why Disneyland is surprising. You had mentioned Disneyland. I found this kind of interesting dichotomy between what the woman is going to do versus what the man's going to do. But then we're also kind of mentioning that she's going to the Natural Museum with Dr. Hassline.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of sets up who's the smart one of the two of them.
You're going to a fight to Disneyland.
Right.
I'm going to the museum and talk to the ladies.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird
Well, you could tell Cornelius.
association of things to
Right.
put together. I mean, they make sense for individual characters, but combined together, they're kind of odd.
But you could tell Cornelius was put off by the whole Jungle Cruise thing when they mentioned that, at least, that he was
Could
making
you?
a face. Yeah.
I that was one thing I thought when I looked at him. I thought, is he kind of looking down his nose that they're being so obvious and sending a monkey
That's what
to
I
the
think.
Jungle
To the
Land?
Jungle Cruise.
Or was
yeah.
he simply like, Disneyland?
But he
you
also
know?
closes his eyes for a second, so I thought it was just kind of lulling to sleep. They don't have any direction in the script other than dedicated for a new boat ride, the Jungle River Ride, which, of course, they say the cruise later on. Cornelius has risen and walked across the sitting room into the bathroom, but he doesn't do that. He sighs, closes his eyes for a second,
Okay.
then gets up, decides to turn off the TV. We get to see this entire action, which was not described in the script.
And children today will never know the horror of having to get up and turn the TV off or change the channel,
That's so
turn up the
true.
volume. I mean, come on.
That is so very true.
Or drink
God.
champagne in a hotel room and not destroy the hotel room in the
Or
process.
then when they had remote
Okay, go ahead,
controls.
Richard. Tell us.
Or remember when they had remote controls that had a cord on them so that it wasn't really remote,
Yes.
it was just a leash to your television?
So there was this, some friends of mine. It was my uncle, but not by blood. My uncle, his mother and her father would babysit me in the afternoons for a little while. And I have very fond memories of going to their house after school, and she would make like fish sticks and like from a bag, and I'd eat them with ketchup, and it was just kind of this crazy thing. But he would always sit on his chair, his recliner chair. We'd watch black and white TV in the afternoon because he was retired. Mm-hmm. And he would have one of those remotes with a giant cable that would go to it.
To TV.
He'd also terrify me by taking out his dentures. But I remember that gigantic remote that he would have. They would have that. And then it eventually was like the giant cable box with like 40 buttons on it that you press, and it still had a cable connected
Change
to
the
the TV.
channel still, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
And you were talking earlier about Cornelius and technology. I did have that a note here too at this point. I said Cornelius has adjusted to technology quickly. From what we could tell, guns and explosives were the height of technology in his time, but TV should blow him away today. Why is the little man talking in the box?
Right. Well, he sits around, he's taking all this in, and really, and I get it, you're not going to stop down to have them just flabbergasted over and over and over again, but now we even get how assimilated Zira is into this when Cornelius gets up, and we get something's going on because it's his shot. We know she's in the room because he's speaking to her, but then we get the reveal.
So just a note from, and it's largely in this minute as well. We do see him like tap off the TV, like he's very ginger about the TV. Like, I'm gonna tap it off. Okay, it's off. But we have to watch
Who says
him.
tap it off? I've never heard that term before.
Well, he clicks it off. He nudges it off.
I just never heard tap it off before. I was just
He
Tap it
uses
off.
his chimp hands
Tap
and
it
like tap. My point
I'm
is,
just picking on it.
we have to spend some time watching him turn off the TV, which I get. But we have to watch him walk out of the room, walk through the doorway, and walk to the left behind the doorway.
Yep.
We then have to see a shot of the door. We then have to hear him knock on the door. We then have to see him open the door. Like, there's a lot of movement that was not in the script that they felt like they had to shoot, and the editor decided to leave that in.
Right.
I am disturbed because if my bathroom door is shut and Chris knocks on it,